Hi everyone, thank you very much for coming. Imagine for a second you had $10,000 extra dollars in your pocket. No wait, $15,000 extra dollars in your pocket. What would you do with it? Most would say, pay off debt. You wouldn't be the only ones. According to this morning, the U.S. Treasury states that we're $15.7 trillion in debt. That's this many zeros. That's a lot of money, especially since on average, according to the U.S. Federal Reserve, we only make that much. Through information that I've gathered through the U.S. Census Bureau, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the U.S. Federal Reserve, and the American Consumer Debt Statistics, it's clearly stated that we're in way over our head. Financial gurus such as Dave Ramsey, who has a 7-step principle that will help our finances greatly. He's an accredited financial guru for over 30 years, and he's helped thousands upon thousands of people. His 7-step principle has actually helped my own life, building credit from a year and a half ago from 0 to 786, and if most of you know, 800 is a perfect score, and taking $15,000 worth of debt, and in a 4-month time period, cutting it completely in half to only $6,000. $2,000 of it being school debt, and $4,000 of it being my car. I have a financial plan to be financially debt-free in December 2012, and at the age of only 24. I think this can help, especially because the U.S. debt crisis is our fault, and we as Americans need to take control of our finances to help America today. It starts with us. Today I'll briefly explain where our country stands on average, how long it would take to pay off the debt, and most importantly, how our country is in dire need of financial change. What is debt? Debt is something owed, according to Merriam-Webster.com, which was updated 2012. In banking terms, this means it's a debt owed plus an interest. As I stated, $15.7 trillion is actually only government spending. According to the U.S. Federal Reserve, $15.9 trillion is personal debt. We spend more than the government. This is a huge problem. Huge problem. According to the U.S. National Treasury or creditcard.com, they state that the average household makes around $49,445. Although, according to the U.S. Federal Reserve, the U.S. household debt is around $50,000, a little above. We spend way more than we make. That's not good. Now, remember earlier when I stated what would you do with an extra $15,000 in your pocket? Well, that $15,000 of the $50,000 is actually a credit card debt. According to creditcard.com, which was updated 2012 of this year, it states that the average household credit card debt is $6,600. But if we took houses that actually only use credit cards, it would be $15,793. That's a huge problem. How long would it take to pay that off? Well, let's take a measly average. Alright, between $6,000 and $15,000. $10,000. An even number for anybody. You have a 2% on minimum payment, which would be $200. And according to creditcard.com, the average APR for last year was 12.78%. I won't bore you with the math, but that comes out to roughly 30 years. Not to mention the $6,000 on top of that for interest. This is a huge problem, especially since I'm only 23. On the government scale, it's huge. If they were to stop charging everything and pay, starting this second, $1 every minute, it would take 440,000 years to pay off the debt that we're in now. This is a huge problem. Dave Ramsey has 7 steps that I believe that are not only biblical, but will help us take over this debt. The first step is to get $1,000 in an emergency fund right away. This is to help for rainy days and things that you don't know are going to happen. Second, it's called a snowball. Snowball debt-free. What this does is you list all your debts from lowest to highest, or highest to lowest, sorry, and you pay off the smallest one with a vengeance, therefore cutting each one off one by one. This will help you become debt-free, which is what I'm doing right now. After we do all that, he has other steps saying putting away 3 to 6 months of expenses into savings, putting 15% into retirement, paying off home early, and the last one, which is the most important, number 7, is to build wealth and give. I think that's our most important calling since we are Christians. The Bible states in Proverbs 22:7, just as the rich rule over the poor, the debtor becomes a slave to the lender. Being in debt takes part of your freedom away. I implore us to take action of our finances and help me in the fight to preserve our freedom. Over the course of history, the greatest civilizations have lasted roughly around 200 years. We defy history every single day, with America being over 250 years in the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that our forefathers presented before us. Join me in preserving this greatness and the fight against national debt that threatens it. Thank you very much for your time.